hear that? That's not just a Toyota truck. That's the sound of no crowds, no alerts, no distractions, and no telling what you'll find next. You know, like a detour. So why would you ever take a tour when you could take a detour? Toyota trucks.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, medical, or mental health advice. The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast and are not intended to malign any religion, group, club, organization, business, individual, anyone, or anything.
I'm Sarah Edmondson.
And I'm Anthony Nippy Ames, and this is A Little Bit Culty.
We woke up from a cult, and that journey was captured in The Vow on HBO and in my memoir, Scarred.
Now, in this podcast, we break down the shame and secrets that make these experiences so destructive with honest conversations on how seemingly benign groups can cross into the cultiverse and how to spot and recover from trouble if it happens to you.
Each week, we bring in experts, survivors, and whistleblowers to explore red flags, resilience, and even share a few laughs, because sometimes you gotta laugh.
Subscribe to our Patreon for early and ad-free listening, some live Q&A, and exclusive content at patreon.com/alittlebitculty.
Welcome to Season 8 of A Little Bit Culty. We had so many things to talk about. Let me just make sure that we... No, I know. It's great. We free fall.
Oh, so wait a minute. Yeah, she wrote the 4-door book. I was joking with Sarah on the way down here. You read the first draft.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell us how bad it was?
In fairness,
so fucking bad.
But I'm accustomed to this. Okay. Because I knew that was an early iteration.
Yes.
It
It's
almost-
so much.
And I did not, I would
wasn't.
never hold you to it.
Okay.
I would never hold you.
I'm a little bit embarrassed that I showed you that.
I've read
Oh,
a
it
lot
got-
of embarrassing first drafts.
Okay.
Do not worry. I am a warm and
Okay.
soft place for a first draft to land.
Wow.
Okay.
We had an editor come in late, and like when they fixed it, went in, I went back, was kind of like, I like that part.
Yeah.
And I went back and read the original. I was like, wait, was this the one we wrote before it got like...
Chopped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We hired somebody who didn't know anything about cults to kind of restructure it.
Cool.
And make sure that somebody who didn't know anything could kind of go through a journey in a sense
different acumen.
Yeah. We just were so in it. We couldn't.
You can't see the forest amid the
God
trees.
damn, I hate...
Yeah.
Look, I always hated that cliche. I always hated it. And then I wrote a book, and I was like, oh, I get it.
No, it's really apt.
It's fucking
very
crazy.
apt.
It's really
I
apt.
can't see
It's tough.
shit.
I mean, like, even with this, I'm here in Atlanta right now because I'm giving a TED Talk. And I'm only allowed 5 minutes. It's like a mini TED Talk. And, it's hard to get in a lot of information in a short amount of time. And even like a book is not enough to say all that you want to say.
Yeah.
And it's really tempting when you're so deep into the subject matter and you mostly talk to people who already have a foundation of knowledge. It's so tempting just to like cut right to the chase. But there's so much exposition needed to make a talk or a book or a podcast episode palatable to someone who knows absolutely nothing.
Right.
And that sometimes requires killing your darlings or completely cutting
At
and
the point, I was
restructuring.
like,
and
cut my ear off. Let's get this done.
it's
So
really hard.
Even though it was shit, you wrote a really nice forward, and I'm going to read a little excerpt from it. I printed up here.
Hey, do your Keith. Do your Keith.
No, I don't do it like you do.
Everybody do a quick
Yeah,
I
Keith.
could do a Nancy.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Hi, I'm Nancy Salzman.
No, that's scary. I actually don't like it.
I'm going to read the forward in Nancy's voice.
That's actually scary.
I feel like a friend. That's cute. Don't ever do that again.
Since the moment, this is what you wrote. Since the moment they launched their podcast, they've engaged in productive, unpretentious, which I really appreciate, conversations with their interviewees and listeners, gathering a well. That's such a nice, I love that. A well of actionable advice that beg to make its way to book form. This text is truly one of a kind, although poorly written. Autobiographical, yet research-backed, empathetic, yet direct, and full of legitimately helpful insight for so many readers, not only cult survivors, but also current cult followers concerned with loved ones and the generally cult curious without being dogmatic or patronizing. So we hope that when you get the final copy that you feel like we maintain that. We really were trying not to be dogmatic. In fact, we have a section in the end of the book about how to navigate the cult space, the post-cult space, and make sure that even in the post-cult space that you don't get caught up into dogmatic rules, or there's no one particular leader and nobody knows everything that there is, including us.
Yeah. No, I mean, with survivors, well, it's really interesting. I'm sure you've picked up on some of these observations as well, but like, it is really interesting to see how survivors of missional high demand groups like Mormonism or whatever will leave and then go on to very successfully pursue a media career or a different kind of platform using some of the same techniques that they learned as a part of the cult. And it's kind of this thing where like you can take the person out of the cult, but sometimes you can't quite take the cult out of the person. And some of those skills, like building solidarity and, you know, rallying people around a collective mission, can be positive. But sometimes survivors of cults transfer a little too much of what they learned back in the day onto like their new ideas. And it's important just to take every school of thought with a grain of salt.
Yes. We actually have a chapter on cult hopping and how people want to, you know, fill that cult-shaped hole in their heart. And while we didn't join another cult, I certainly was just as mission-driven on the other side in terms of like shining a light and being mission-oriented in the cult space. And to the point where I said, like, as you can probably tell, I'm more of a yes person. Nippy's more of a no person.
I'm like, let me think about it.
Yeah, which I'm better at now.
Yeah.
I take every invite with a, thank you so much for the invite. Let me check my calendar.
I know. I'm learning to be that way too because I have so much enthusiasm. Like I love to connect with people too, temporarily in spurts, you know? But yeah, sometimes I just like trust people who are, you know, really reflecting that enthusiasm back at me, who I like maybe shouldn't trust. So I'm also learning how to not say no, but to like take a second and be like, let me talk to my people.
Yeah, good. It's a good habit.
Yeah.
You're like, what did I just say yes to? You said, yeah, here you are. Here you are. That was actually one of the questions from our Patreon. Well, a couple questions from our Patreon. Have you been to Waffle House yet?
Oh my God, don't hate me, but no, because when we did our event and I learned about the cult, the religion, the community of Waffle House, I had to leave to drive to Asheville literally like the very next morning.
Right.
So I didn't have time. I might get around to it this trip though.
I think
They're
I'm
on
excited.
every single stop.
They're what?
There's that Waffle House on
At every single stop. I know. I was in a
1
bit of a
a.m.,
rush.
2 a.m. is probably
You're here
the best
till
time to
Wednesday?
go.
Tuesday afternoon. There's time.
Okay, we could,
You
I'll
gotta
pick you
go-
up. We'll
you
go.
gotta go-
I actually,
Sarah, you got to go at like 1 or 2 a.m.
I know.
That's
Are
not
you
gonna
supposed
happen.
to be like
A
drunk?
little bit drunk.
you could
Okay.
be. You could be.
I'll
Also, what, but because I know this episode's really about this book. So like, what have you learned? Like, you wrote the book, you're out there in the space. What's been like, since you wrote it, what are some new additions to the lexicon or like all the other culty shit you've seen that you want to talk about?
Ooh. Oh, that's a great question. What's like another language tactic that I like could have included?
That have you learned about since? And if you would want to keep it in the back of your mind, if you think about it later, we can come back to it.
You know what? I have seen way more battles of sometimes thought terminating cliches, but sometimes just these sort of like really tribal rallying cries. I've seen way more battles of those in Instagram comments than I even did while writing Cultish, specifically with regard to politics.
Yeah. Yep.
Because somehow our political culture has gotten even more polarized and fraught.
I can't believe it.
Then
I can't believe it could have.
Was
When
I
you
know,
wrote that book,
it
even
went-
more.
Yeah.
Because you touched on it here, but it got worse.
Yes. And it is incredible how now, if you attempt to take almost a mediator role, trying to understand why people think a certain way, who you don't agree with, but you're like attempting to put yourself in their shoes, or like from an empathetic or even just like preparation standpoint, like how am I supposed to argue with these people, or not argue, but like how am I supposed to be in dialogue with these people if I don't even understand where they're coming from?
Right.
People will say like, oh, you're both sidesing it or whatever.
There's no right way.
Yeah. And I'm just like, whoa. So now we're saying that you can't even attempt to grasp the psychology of people who have opposing politics because that's considered like supporting them or platforming them.
Right.
This, I talk about in Cultish how like in corporate speak, there's a lot of turning nouns into verbs. And there was that like in Nexium, didn't they say, oh, that's just viscera?
Yeah.
Turning like an adjective into a noun, a lot of scrambling of parts of speech. And not always, but I think sometimes criticisms of like, I can't believe you're platforming so-and-so feels culty because I might be, so for example, like for a Sounds Like a Cult episode, I might bring on someone who's still like actively a part of the group that we're criticizing. And Sounds Like a Cult is a pretty lighthearted show. Yeah. So maybe that person is just in the cult of Duolingo or like
not a real cult.
No, it's just like a subgroup in the zeitgeist that seems a little culty. People might say, and this is like just an arbitrary example, but someone might, a critic, someone listening might say like, I cannot believe you're platforming this clearly biased person. I'm like, no, we're engaging in a back and forth in order to understand them. Like, that's not platforming. Because I think people are triggered by YouTube channels like Jubilee, which will be like one Nazi against 30 woke college students, clearly rage baiting. And like, I am really not trying to rage bait. I'm trying to understand how cultishness shows up in places you might not think to look. But I think we're so easily activated these days because of how much more polarized we are even since 2020 that like, again, I think sometimes people hear dog whistles that no one ever blew.
Correct. And people take their belief systems way too seriously.
Yeah. And sometimes they should, like if people's physical safety and rights or whatever are really like hanging in the balance, but like sometimes they're really not. Sometimes like it's really not that deep.
On your show, it's pretty self-evident listening to your show, you're not trying to provoke any sort of...
No, thank you. But sometimes like
you put something out of the universe and it pushes back.
Physics. I'm like, damn. But then I'm so thankful for the research and writing process of The Age of Magical Overthinking, which again is about irrationality in the modern age and how that shows up sometimes in like disembodied digital interactions. And I'm like, okay, just remember like their behavior right now is probably motivated by the illusory truth effect or the recency illusion or like one of these things that I covered. And that helps me get grounded and just like log off for a while. And I'm able to like have more compassion for even when people are like lobbing vitriol at me. I'm like, oh no, this is what's motivating their behavior. It's fine.
That's good. That's why people should read the book. Even cult podcasts need sponsors. Check out these must-haves.
The world is full of tours. But you don't choose a Toyota truck to follow the beaten path. You choose it to find the places in between. The detours, where each adventure pulls you toward the next. And wrong turns turn out right. So why would you ever take a tour when you could take a detour? Toyota Trucks.
Okay, it's almost 2026 and you're still paying rent without Built? We can't have that. Built is basically a loyalty program for renters, which is genius because rent is literally your biggest monthly expense. We know because we're renting while we find our forever home. Every rent payment earns you points that you can use on flights, hotels, Lyft rides, Amazon purchases, and so much more. Plus, when you pay rent through Built, you get access to exclusive perks from over 45,000 merchants. Link your credit cards, spend at your favorite local spots, and rack up points on top of your usual rewards. Personally, I use mine for rent credit, Amazon, Lyft rides, gift cards, or a fun dinner out with the family. Little wins all around. Built points are ranked the most valuable by the Points Guy. And now there's Built Cash, so you can unlock even more value from their partners. Paying rent is finally rewarding. Literally. Join the loyalty program for renters at jointbuilt.com/culty. That's joinbilt.com/culty. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you.
People, we are so excited about our newest sponsor, Drip Drop. I love electrolytes, and when I'm hydrated, I feel so much better. I notice my mood and focus shift instantly when I'm hydrated. Drip Drop is doctor-developed, science-backed, and uses a precise electrolyte-glucose ratio for proven fast hydration that helps your body absorb water fast. We're talking 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading sports drinks. So you actually feel the difference. Better focus, more energy, even that sneaky, why does my skin look so good today glow. And this stuff is trusted by so many people, firefighters, medical pros, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. Our family loves the zero sugar line. I am obsessed with the peach. Ace likes the strawberry lemonade, Nippy likes the cherry limeade, and Troy is obsessed with the orange. Plus, with Drip Drop's flexible subscriptions, I am never stuck without it. Whenever I'm working out, running around with the kids, parenting through a heat wave like we did last summer, I always have Drip on hand. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use promo code CULTY. That's dripdrop.com, promo code CULTY for 20% off. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code CULTY. Enjoy! Thank you, sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. Now, let's get back to the show.
Are you hopeful now? Where are you in that department? I'm wavering.
Yeah, I think I feel an obligation to feel sincere hope and project hope because I've been doing more public speaking engagements at universities. And when I see like a hopeful but nervous, panicky 19-year-old like looking up at me being like, what is my future going to look like? I feel a responsibility to convey some kind of optimism and direction because not everybody has the stomach for, remaining delusionally whimsical and optimistic during these times. But I feel like I can do that. And so, yeah, before the robots take us all, I just want to like encourage young people to embrace critical thinking, touch grass, make art, you know.
I do love touching grass.
Yeah, me too.
I like smoking it.
And that, I love that too.
I like chewing it in a gummy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Gummy is
that's
better
where
for your
I am.
lungs.
That's my
Yes,
middle
I
age.
can't. I'm too
Don't
old to
smoke
smoke. I
anymore.
get a cough.
Yeah.
You mentioned in this one that people said there were dog whistles that you didn't mean to do. What, can you mind sharing what they were or what it was if you recall, or is that too?
I remember I did an episode of Magical Overthinkers. This is one of many examples. This is just the one that like comes to mind. And sometimes I feel like I created a monster by like encouraging people to see cultishness in everyday life because sometimes they see it where it really doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But like pop off, like love the hypervigilance. But anyway, I did a Magical Overthinkers episode on fertility and I interviewed someone who has like a slightly more holistic approach to fertility practices. And there were like 2 factual errors communicated in the podcast that I ended up like correcting later in the show notes, which happens all the time. And like my show is not the news, you know, like it's a interview podcast. So like sometimes things get said that were not like 100% accurate. Right. And I'm so grateful when, we try to prevent that as much as humanly possible, but sometimes it happens. And I'm so grateful for when listeners point it out because then I'm able to issue a correction. But there was someone who was like, oh my God, this lady gives like woo conspiritualist cult leader just because she said like one thing about birth control that was not just the like unilateral like birth, the sort of like.
We got killed for something like that.
No, it was something about raw milk. We're not going to get into it.
Oh, no, it was RFK.
Yeah, it was raw milk and RFK.
Yeah, someone mentioned RFK.
But like that wasn't what it was about.
Oh yeah, or so you'll hear someone say something that's like slightly mystical and they jump all the way to RFK.
Yeah.
Or like, and I'm just like, oh, no, there are degrees between that.
You know what? That's the thing that my big talking point right now for myself and when people like want to know like what's a call, what's not a call, and different opinions is that like we're so into because it's so divided, the black and white thing. It's not this or this. It's actually both. Like you can have so many things going on at the same time, and you don't. We're trying to label and put people in places you can't even talk about it.
People are doing it as a self-protective mechanism because like, the psychological phenomenon of splitting or when you divide people into like heroes or disgraced villains happens after like a difficult situation or a trauma or a crisis. You know, it's like when you break up with someone, for example, this thunder is everything.
It's amazing.
We don't have thunderstorms in LA.
You don't ever?
No, there's no thunderstorms in LA.
What?
The climate doesn't allow for them.
Oh my God, this is so
Because
exciting.
heat and physics goes up.
We're going to get it.
So anyway, like, you know, let's say you go through a breakup. It is a coping mechanism to say like, oh, my ex was a villain, narcissist, demon, whatever, even though like they probably weren't that, but you have to split people that way, or you don't have to.
You're soothing yourself.
Yes. And so I think we're doing that on a macro scale, and social media dynamics are not helping. But yeah, I think we're living in like times of crisis. And so people are just like splitting en masse.
And worse players are using it consciously to divide.
Yeah. And some people are doing it on purpose to benefit.
And it's very hard to identify those people when you see them in person. Like, I can't project that malevolence into someone like that because I don't do that. How am I ever going to be able to do that when they're doing it from behind a computer with however they do it?
Yeah.
50 bots, 100 bots, whatever.
Tough times. And I don't know. Like that's something else that I learned after this book came out is like, in my work, I don't want to turn temperatures up. I want to bring temperatures down. Mm-hmm. And so when I saw that there were these little flurries of raised temperature, I was like, whoa, let me see what I can do about that. Because I want to facilitate conversation. That's why my writing is so colloquial and accessible. It's because like I want to bring people into conversations they would otherwise feel excluded by or upset by. So yeah, that's my whole
I love
shtick.
that.
I love that.
We're going to steal that.
Yeah, cut and paste.
Well, there's a little, obviously there's, you know, some overlap in your Cultish and then our next book, although ours is really like our guest survivor story focus.
It's a guide. It's a book I wish I had. It's a book I would have been like, oh, yeah, I saw that, done.
Like we have cheat sheets at the end of every chapter for like love bombing. Like, are they doing this or doing that? So like people can tick off the boxes.
Yeah.
Or hopefully they won't have to.
Hopefully they won't have to.
Time to deprogram. Listen up for our sponsor's latest offer.
Somehow, the holidays are already here, and I've learned the hard way that getting ready now makes all the difference later. Yes, if I can knock out some of the decorating, the guest prep, the gift shopping just a little bit early, I can actually get to enjoy the season. You know, the cozy movie nights, the lights at the local botanical gardens, baking with the kids, all of it, instead of running around at the last minute like a chicken with her head cut off. Wayfair has been our secret weapon for just that. They have got everything: bedding, decor, lighting, gifts, and the shipping is so fast, which is so key this time of year. We just refreshed our guest room and added a few festive touches to the living room, and it all showed up in days. I've also ordered some garlands, some new stockings, some serving platters for hosting potlucks, and I picked these items quickly, looking at all the customer reviews. I love the quality, and I love how they all look in our home. It feels very festive and cozy in here. We even grabbed some extra storage bins for all the ornaments and kitchen essentials that somehow keep accumulating. Who doesn't need some storage bins? People, log on to Wayfair. If you're still figuring out gifts, their guides make it easy to find something for everyone in the family. No endless scrolling required. Wayfair really is the one-stop shop for getting your home and holiday list ready so you can actually slow down and enjoy the holiday once it hits. Get last-minute hosting essentials, gifts for all your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. You know how this time of year everyone's running on caffeine and leftover Halloween candy and whatever's left of their immune system? Yep, that's why we've been leaning hard on AG1. It's our daily green scoop of sanity. One drink that replaces your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants. We call it adulting in a cup. Between traveling back and forth between Atlanta and Vancouver, hosting family, and pretending we have our routines under control, it's easy to fall off the healthy wagon. AG1 Next Gen makes it simple to stay on track. It's got even more vitamins and minerals, plus gut-supporting pre- and probiotics that keep everything, moving smoothly. We love AG1 because it's one of those rare habits that actually sticks. You just scoop, shake, drink. Done. No 47-step wellness routine required, especially if you're trying to simplify your life going into the new year. We just did a little family trip to Mexico and brought the travel packs, and I'm so glad I did because not only did I not have to drag a big Ziploc bag full of different supplements. I just brought my AG1, and that morning routine kept us and our guts in tip-top shape for the trip. Very important. AG1 now has their best offer ever. If you head to drinkag1.com/culty, you'll get the welcome kit, a morning person hat, a bottle of vitamin D3 and K2, an AG flavor sampler, and you'll get to try their new sleep supplement, AGZ, for free, which has been a total game changer for my nightly routine. That's drinkag1.com/culty for $126 in free gifts for new subscribers. If you're anything like me, last-minute shopping is basically a sport. Shelves are empty, ideas are running low, and panic is setting in. That's where Aura Frames saves the day. I'm so excited about Aura Frames being our newest sponsor because I can think of like 10 people that are getting this from us for Christmas. It's so personal. You can preload photos before it even ships and keep adding from anywhere, anytime. Every frame comes in a premium gift box, no price tag, and no stress. You can't wrap togetherness and connection and love and all that good stuff, but you can frame it. Seriously, it's the easiest, most thoughtful gift, even for those people who seem impossible to shop for. So, for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames. Named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code CULTY at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code CULTY. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Happy shopping and happy holidays.
Thanks for listening. Now let's resume our culty convo.
So a couple overlaps. I thought we'd do a little catch up. Where are they now? Teal Swan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know where she is now.
I mean, the last I heard about her, we were in touch with one of the survivors from the documentary series that like got away.
We got a text, too. Someone came after us.
Oh, yeah.
On
and
the
then
social medias.
on the
Oh,
social,
on
like
social medias.
her flying monkeys have never been, or they're the strongest, like in terms of like, Teal's amazing and like, trashing our show and stuff. That was the most we've ever had was after Teal Swan.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's everybody's like most, the episode that yielded the most
Controversy?
Yeah.
Oh, Eckhart Tolle for sure. We had
Oh, yeah, of course.
I remember you telling me.
That was, and I understand why. I still loved the episode, but anyone who came from a spiritual group listening to him was like, no. Hard no, because all the leaders sound like him. Which,
of
course,
where Wade mentioned RFK.
Yeah, someone mentioned RFK. A lot of people went off on that, and that was an episode that was a little bit of a stretch for us. It was a friend of ours in the wellness space who.
It was about how people can get around being a vegan and
it was
carnivore.
the culty. It was supposed to be around the cultiness of I'm a vegan. And
some
I'm
of his
a meat eater.
tangents went into like I forget. I had to go back and listen because I was like, "What are they mentioning RFK? Did he even mention it?" Well, we got killed.
Yeah.
Even in our review section, you can know when you go into a review section and someone's like, "These
do that, but yeah,
platformed RFK." I'm like, I didn't platform. What the fuck? Like,
yes, I mean,
the words are crammed down our throat.
What about you?
Yeah.
Oh, so how to choose? I mean, one that comes to mind just because it was from this year was our Waldorf schools episode.
Oh yeah, we got some pushback.
That was controversial too.
Yeah,
so,
because we were trying to maybe share a source, but it didn't work out. But we ended up interviewing a listener who reached out to us, and the episode's great. It like performed really well, and I completely stand by it. But people were there was a lot of
because
feedback.
people love their Waldorf schools.
They do, and Waldorf also, I don't think was pleased with it.
Did they write you?
Yes, but only about like an image that they didn't want us to use or whatever, like in talking about the episode on social media. So whatever, we took it down. Yeah. But it was fine. Like, I mean, we got a really dramatic cease and desist about it, but we didn't have to take down the episode or anything.
Wild. I mean, our caveats were like very clear. Like Troy was in Waldorf. I really like all these things about it, but I also thought these things were problematic, and this is the history. Like we were very delicate. We never said it's a cult.
There,
and
there is a vibe around it that everyone sends their kids to Waldorf. It's like, oh, we know.
For sure.
There is that kind of like.
And the thing with sounds like a cult is that like it's a bit and also not a bit.
Yeah.
And so, if people take the accusation of cult too seriously and interpret it as not a bit, that's pretty telling.
It's a confession.
It's a confession. So like all the groups who've been really upset about our episodes on them, like that reflects poorly on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the brands
let them talk.
Yeah. They like let them talk. It's literally like keep our name in your mouth,
Yeah.
Like if someone
wouldn't want that?
if someone like, well, have people called you cult leaders over the years? Like, oh, now you're a cult leader.
Not really. I mean,
If they
we've
have,
been
I haven't heard it because I'm too
No.
lazy to be a cult leader.
I know. I'm
I
just
just
like,
don't have the energy to go
way
abuse
too
people.
tough.
We've
Yeah.
gotten shit for like having too many ads.
oh yeah,
You
no,
know,
of course.
and I'm
that.
like, listen on Patreon for $5 a month.
literally, people
you
can
don't
listen
want-
ad free to Sounds Like a Cult on Patreon for $2 a month.
Oh, it's just $2.
$2.
That's so cheap.
I know.
It's a bargain.
You can't afford not to do it.
Literally, like, just listen on Patreon for Pete's sake.
Yeah, I mean, or skip the ads,
Or,
but also
yeah,
like,
or just skip.
you know what? This is my little vent session.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-oh.
People, I think, and people, I don't. Just in the same
Rub it
way
off.
that somebody who doesn't have a restaurant wouldn't understand that like toilet paper costs money. You can just
Yes.
come in and use my toilet like for a
No, I
restaurant.
know.
Like people don't understand like making the podcast costs money.
This is our job.
Where do you think it comes from?
Literally.
we need the ads to pay.
That's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from. We had a lull where our ad revenue for the first time in years dipped and didn't even cover production costs.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a couple months, and we were like, "What are we doing?"
Right.
No, we almost closed doors.
Well, yeah.
About 6 months ago.
Oh, I would.
Yeah. It's like, what are
Yeah.
we doing? It's back now and it's better. But like when people
Well,
complain, I'm like,
I think specifically it's because like podcasting, there's such a range. It
Yeah.
goes from like
Totally.
two girly pops in their bedroom,
yeah.
which is like how my podcast started, and no ads, and it's like in its essence, and most of those shows are really bad, but when it's good, it feels like a gem, you know,
Right.
especially because there are no ads at that stage, all the way to like an NPR show, a Wondery show, like, and everything in between. So if a show starts off as really grassroots and intimate and then becomes bigger and there are ads, like you should be happy for those people
Yeah,
because
that's a
that
good
means
point.
that they can continue making the show
People
and it's
see what
doing
you
well.
see. Yeah.
I would not, like, podcasting is not my fucking hobby. Like, it's half
Yeah.
of my career now.
same.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it for fun. It's too
It's-
time
It
consuming.
is.
All
It's a grind.
consuming. It's a grind. And listen, I love doing it.
Me too.
I'm grateful as fuck.
Super grateful.
Me too.
Like amazing. There's not many. Like what's it like? 98% of podcasts never earn money.
Fail
Oh,
after-
I'm sure. Oh, 99,
No,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
no, 2% of all podcasts make 98% of the money or something like that.
Oh, damn.
And
It's just physics.
and
Just physics.
Physics. And we can throw some more physics at you here. I think 98%.
If he's a woman in STEM.
Yeah. 98% fail after 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I did
and
all this when
why?
we were
Because
looking into it.
it's a freaking, like you said, it's a grind. And like, I love doing it, but part of why I love doing it is because I make money.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, if I was independently wealthy, would I still do it?
Not
Honestly,
every
no.
week. Not every week.
Not every week.
No, not
yeah,
every
always.
week.
Are you guys always on too?
Sounds Like a Cult is always on.
Yeah.
And I have a second fucking podcast, and that's every other week.
You're
I
a
do-
maniac.
Bro, I do it.
Just
I
call me
do it
bro.
because it's my
Bruh.
job.
Yeah.
It's my job, you know? And I love that because like it's a job that promotes my real love, which I would do for free, which is writing books. Like I would write books. I would go into the red to write books. I would not go into the red to podcast.
I'm the
being
opposite.
honest.
I don't think I'm ever going to write another book.
I'll say this.
It was too
the
much for me.
podcast itself, like really what it is, we get to have interesting conversations with interesting people indefinitely. It's the prep around it.
Yeah.
All that other stuff that gets us in the seat that if you could offset somehow,
I know.
I would be. But also,
Some of them are.
you have to read a book. Like this isn't going to be good unless I read your book. And
Yeah.
like I'm reading a book, taking kids around, blah, blah, blah.
Some people say don't read the book, let AI summarize it. I personally can't do that.
no.
I want to read the book, and why I actually enjoy reading the book.
Yes.
I like
And
reading the book.
It forces
I
me
like
to read the
God,
book.
what?
thinking of the other person.
Oh my God,
Before-
that's a horrifying
I know.
suggestion.
We had a producer suggest that to us. We no longer work with. Yes, but sidebar, sometimes it's really fun. Like we had an episode, might be a great guest for Magical Overthinking. I don't
Okay.
know the tie-in yet, but her name's Dr. Ingrid Clayton. She wrote a book
Okay.
about fawning.
Very
fight,
good.
freeze,
It's very good.
fight or flight,
Yeah.
freeze, and fawn.
Okay.
And so fawning is like people pleasing and accommodating, flirting.
Oh.
It's really good. I don't know the tie-in.
Fawn Star is the name of the episode.
We could do overthinking about flirting.
Yeah, I just have her on. She was just like, loved her book.
What a great recommendation.
Yes, I will give you all the recommendation for a long de relation in Caliph.
Oh, wait. I'm going to
I love
forget.
that.
Caliph. Yeah. That's from Saturday Night Live from the 90s. I did not make that up.
okay.
It was an episode where they abbreviated everything. And the
Yeah.
only line I remember is she's like, I have a long de relation with a guy in Caliph.
Caliph is so funny
You're
because
my
it's
long de
gross.
relation.
That's what I thought you were saying.
kind of
I
what-
am your long de relation Caliph.
It came out so naturally. I didn't even realize how perfect it was.
That's so funny.
But you're in Geo.
What?
I just was just trying to play along.
No.
I'm just trying
You're
to
not
play.
included in
I
this.
know.
No.
I'm just trying to play along.
This is our
I know.
relationship. Okay, wait.
Well, I want to know what cult
how we
she
do
would
for
have
time?
fallen for.
Oh, shit.
Of all
Oh,
the
yeah, I have
cults.
2 more questions. How about,
Of all the cults.
Which would have been your
Which
thing?
one is like, oh, if I didn't know what I knew, this is the one I would have been in.
Okay, there's not one that I've looked into formally that I could have really seen myself falling into, but if there were a cult surrounding like an artist that I admired, oh, okay, so we
Jared Leto.
Okay, not that person specifically.
He has one.
Yeah, I know. We did an episode way at the top of this year about Neil Gaiman. Did you read the expose that came out about him?
No.
He's the author who wrote like The Sandman and Coraline and all that. He's like a massively successful, like multi-New York Times best-selling, like smash hit author.
Okay.
And New York Magazine expose, I think it was New York Magazine, by a reporter named Lila Shapiro, came out about him, exposing him as this like deranged abuser who grew up in Scientology. So we did an episode on Neil Gaiman because he manipulated fans of his into like really fucked up sexual scenarios, and like it just felt really cult, like his influence over these people. And I was very spooked by that because my younger self, if I was literally like 3-4 years younger than I am now, if like a older man in Hollywood or like in publishing or whatever that I really admired wanted to coerce me into doing something cult-like or joining something, I probably would have. Just because like I admire the artists that I admire so much.
Everyone's got their hook.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that didn't happen to you.
Me too.
You're safely locked down.
Yes.
Okay, let's end on a totally random note. I just had this thought. I mean, run this by Nip.
You want me to do an imitation of Keith?
I mean, that was what I always wanted, but it's something else. No.
You can just move the microphone slightly away from your face and like get warm.
Listen,
Okay.
Part of me wants to do it. It's just
You don't have the...
I don't work with that in that. You know what I mean?
Totally.
No, you could push the microphone. But while you're thinking
It's just
about
not.
it, I just a random thought, because
Okay.
you're a linguist.
Yeah.
How do you feel about and I thought about this when you said bro, because our kids, all they say is bruh.
And 6, 7.
Bruh. And 6, 7.
You can just completely ignore that.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, what about like the myriad of other words? You probably are.
How
you
deep
probably
in the
know
weeds
this.
we going
No,
here?
just really quickly.
Is there some nasty
Someone saw
shit?
my Halloween costume, and these young hip girls saw me on the street, and they were like, "What are you?" And I was like, "I'm like a vampire going to a rave." I just threw this.
Wait, you said that?
Yeah.
Sarah,
What?
Casey and I throw an insane Halloween party every single year. And this year it was a vampire rave.
Come on.
No, I'm dead serious. Everybody dressed as a vampire. We turned our backyard into a vampire nightclub and with a DJ and a bartender, and it was a vampire rave. That is freaky.
That is bizarre.
That is bizarre.
And I just also, because I didn't have a costume and it was last minute, I just put my friend at a skeleton thing, and then I made my face like I'm sorry.
Vampire
You said you
rave
were a
real
vampire
thing?
going to a
Oh my
rave?
God.
No.
No, wait. Sorry. I said that, and I was a skeleton. I'm so sorry.
Wait, but so why did that come to your mind?
I don't know why. No, because the girls, I was telling you about the costume.
Oh.
But I don't know why I said vampire. Anyway, I was a skeleton.
Oh
that
my
would have
God,
been
we're
that would have been
I'm just
amazing.
hanging
Yeah.
out at this point. Yeah.
My costume was still. I still look going to a rave. I was a
Cool.
rave, and the weekend
Cute.
before, I was a unicorn. I was basically raving because I had my gold sneakers that I wore at South by Southwest.
I know them well.
And I just had to like put my outfit together last minute. Anyway, these girls were like, "What are you?" And I was like, "Skeleton going to a rave." And they're like, "Oh yeah, period."
Yeah,
I was
period.
like, "I don't have my period." Sorry, what did you just say?
Yeah.
And I never heard it before.
Well, it's slang that like basically all good slang
Yeah.
comes from African American vernacular
Yeah.
English. And it's basically just like an emphasis.
Yeah. I
It's
get
like,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
pop
cool.
off.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go
period.
ahead.
Period.
It's true. African Americans nail the slang, don't they?
Yeah, I mean,
No, it's
every good piece of slang, from the use of bad to mean good to 24/7, comes from African American
dude, they
vernacular
got that
English.
I didn't
down.
know that. And then cap.
Cap, yeah, cap, no cap.
Is that from the African American?
Definitely.
Well,
It is.
I'm gonna take that away then. That's
Yeah.
not a good one. I don't like that one.
Yes, I think we're all entitled to our
Yeah, no,
relationships
I
to
mean,
different
no,
slang.
I-
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I always thought that no cap meant I'm not exaggerating. There are no capital letters in use here.
Oh, I didn't know it was from.
I'm gonna fact check that. Live
Wait.
fact checking.
And while you're looking it up,
I'm
we'll
that age,
also talk
really.
about bet. Have you heard that one?
Bet.
Can I eat this now?
I want some of it. But
Okay,
we should probably wrap the podcast before you
Hold on, let
start
me
eating.
live fact check.
I can eat
And I wanted a bite of
I
that.
can eat. I'll save you one.
Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, wait, really? Okay, I'm so wrong about that. Okay, so yeah, so the expression is no The expression no cap, according to dictionary.com, means no lie or for real, often used to emphasize someone is not exaggerating about something. But according to this source, and who knows how trustworthy this is, Guardian.com, they said it originated in reference to caps for teeth that can be removed and therefore are considered inauthentic.
Oh, no cap.
I like that.
Yeah.
Either way, we have Amanda Montell.
A solid gold versus gold cap tooth.
Linguist, live
I am
fact-checking.
such a
Now
fucking
we're there.
dork. I thought it was
That-
about capital letters.
Still,
That also
that
works.
one's good.
So on that note, I mean, I feel like I had so many things. I feel like we covered it all. Is there anything that you've been dying to ask us?
Yeah. Why do I feel like I see you like once a month, but really I only see you like once every other
Once a
year?
year.
We're just in the cultish zeitgeist, I guess.
I
Just doing our
know.
things.
And I feel like we're all very connected.
I do too.
Somehow.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have ideas now that we're like thinking about now.
Well, it's
now that
also
the
one of
book's
those
done.
relationships where you're excited to talk to someone, you have a limited time, you want to get it in. So it's always
Yeah,
gonna
so
be,
we're always like a little manic together.
It's front loaded with like, we're going to get the positive out. But like,
Oh yeah. No, there's love bombing here.
Yeah.
Major love
Check.
bombing. Welcome to the family.
Yeah. No, happy to be here.
A lot of physics.
A lot of physics.
Well, I guess we have to end this. Thanks, Amanda Montell, for coming to the podcast. Obviously, read Cultish. And if you read the first one, read it again, because I'm reading it again 4 years later and still learning tons.
Yeah, and I think you will probably detect no difference from the paperback and the hardback, but the differences are there.
The people who want to know the differences will find the differences.
And you know what? The irony is those people probably won't even be satisfied by the differences. So
they're too mad at you to read your books.
I know they're too mad at me. So I just made them for me. And that's all that matters.
You're a good person, Amanda Montell.
Thank you. You're a good person. Sarah Edmondson and Anthony Nippy Ames.
There we go. Thank
Welcome
you.
to our cult. Till next time,
We gotta
see
get
you
South
on
by
a little bit
Southwest
culty.
again
Oh, and
somehow.
will you please sign 2 of these? And I don't know what we're going to do, some sort of giveaway.
Love
if you
that.
don't mind,
Of
with our
course.
audience.
Happily.
Yay. See you
Yay.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Sinking down to the depths of the ocean, hanging on to the weight of my love. If I let go of it all, I could leave, but I know I won't.
We hope you're enjoying A Little Bit Culty. If so, please do show us some love. Drop a rating or leave a review. Hit subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/alittlebitculty.
Even better, send this episode to someone who needs it. Maybe they're in a cult. Maybe they're just a little bit susceptible. Or maybe they just love a good story. Spread the word, spread the love. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.
A Little Bit Culty is a Trace 120 production.
Executive produced by Sarah Edmondson and Anthony Nippy Ames in collaboration with producer Will Retherford at Citizens of Sound. Our co-creator is Jess Tardy.
Our production coordinator is Lesli Dinsmore.
Writing by Sandra Nomoto and social media marketing by Eric Swarzinski and Brooke Keene.
Our theme song, Cultivated, is by the artists John Bryant and Nigel Aslan.
Join me and follow the podcast Conspiracy Theories, where we explore what's really going on behind the official narrative. Like, what if the Loch Ness Monster isn't a monster at all, but an elephant? What do the richest 1% know that we don't? And why are they building all those bunkers? And really, what the heck is going on with the Denver airport? Join me every week to see just how high up this goes on the Spotify podcast Conspiracy Theories. Listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.